Coming to the Valley next week, and we got your 2 tickets, 4-day passes on the way. Hang out with your guy, Joey Boy.
What up, it's JD.
And it's Sienna.
I would sure appreciate your opinions and help your guy Joe Beasy out as I have a co-parenting conflict. Okay, 833-730-6377. Why does your co-parenting schedule work for you? Me and the ex, Amber, are both in the same boat where our schedule is not really working out in our favor per se. You know, we do something we made up. Now, we'll let you know that these are basically the average 4 schedules that most people use, guys. Okay?
Okay.
So there's one called alternating weeks, which is basically 1 week on, 1 week off. Pretty self-explanatory. So basically, you get 2 weeks off of the month without your kids. Some people are like, yay. Or some people like me, I don't like that. I can't see myself being 7 days without my kids. No judgment, all right? Just let me know what works for you as you're calling in. 3443, which would mean what, JD? What do you think 3443 means?
3 days on, 4 days off.
Exactly. It
sounds like an in and out order.
Sounds like a code to me.
Can I get that 3443?
Can I get that 3443 with a Neapolitan shake?
Yeah. Well, basically, 3 on, 4 off, 4 on, 3 off. Then there's 2-2-3, same situation. But if you start doing the math, some of these benefit the parents because then when you're alternated that way, the parents will have a weekend or 2 weekends off a month. So if you want to get away or you just want to have time with your dating or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The one that me and my ex do, we call it fluid co-parenting. I usually do Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday morning. So it really is 50-50 all week long. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And then she got a new job. She gets off at 5. Sometimes she can't pick up the kids at 3, so I'll pick them up. So I'm really seeing the kids 50-50 with Amber. But it's coming to a point where neither of us are really having that time away for weekends or wanting to get away for the weekend. And we can't figure it out with this fluid co-parenting schedule we're on. So I'm just asking you, what is your co-parenting schedule and why does it work for you? Now, JD, you're a product of divorced parents.
Yeah.
What schedule were you on?
My parents got divorced when I was 8, and we did every other weekend. So I would stay with my mom, and then every other weekend I would go to my dad's.
Every other weekend, Dad. So you saw your dad, 6 days out of the month?
I think there was a time or two when I would go over to his place, like maybe randomly after school, like if my mom had a long day or something. But from what I remember, it was just weekends. Yeah, I didn't do the 4x3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
That's crazy.
5 plan.
Seeing my kids only 6-7 times a month is wild.
Yeah, now that you really think about it, but I guess one parent.
I'm sorry, I don't want to make you sad, buddy.
I know. Yeah, now that I think about it,
I just love my kids more than your dad loved you, JD. It just basically.
Well, sometimes I remember my dad didn't live close, so I think that's why that schedule per se worked. And I was texting my mom about this, and I think it's just based a lot of the times on how happy you are as a couple, like what you guys are agreeing on at the times. I guess, and unless you go to like a court order thing, I think my parents operated off of they were in a good space, and that is the schedule that worked for them. Whereas like you're in the fluid stage, that's working for you. So I think they weren't doing anything that was court ordered, but they were like, this is the best case scenario. My dad works all these crazy hours. Impossible during the week to pick us up from school or do anything like that.
Every other weekend. I'm not doing that one. I can't do that. There's no way in hell. But again, the schedule that we picked on our own, kind of what your parents did, because we were in a good space. And me and Amber, we co-parent great. We don't have a problem with the kids. It's just the schedule's not working. We're like, maybe this fluid thing that we're kind of doing is not working. I wonder what works for other people. And here we are. So call us in and let us know. I'm going to ask producer Jules up next. I'm going to get her on here because she's a product of divorced parents where I feel like hers may be similar. I don't know if she saw her dad more than you did, JD. So we'll find out who has a better fastball, you or Jules. Whose dad was more involved in their life? What would you think, Sienna? Whose dad was involved more in their life?
That's a wild question.
It is. It's what I do. Who do you think's dad loved their kid more, Jules or JD?
I'm going to say producer Jules because I think she could beat up JD.
I would let her. Just due to
what do you mean you'd let her?
rules.
I don't know. She's from the East Coast. Kind of tough, bro.
Trying to be respectful, man. One punch would be over for her. Anyway.
Wow.
What are you kidding?
We're talking to Jules up next, what her schedule was. And I would love to hear from you. Obviously, there's different co-parent schedules. What's working for you and why? All right. Your call's up next. Plus those Country Thunder tickets. Hold on, y'all.
It's JD.
And it's Sienna.
You guys, Joey Boy, in a co-parenting conflict. The schedule that me and my ex-wife have is not really working for us. Like, neither of us really have any weekends off, and it's just not right. And it's something that we kind of invented on our own. It wasn't a bad divorce per se with co-parenting schedules. We've been great with the kids, and there's been no fights of it, and I've heard the horror stories. We've been good. We call it fluid co-parenting. We have kind of a set schedule throughout the week, but if like she wants a day off, I'll get the kids. If we have work and we have to host an event, she'll take the kids. It's been great, but we're noticing, I think the main thing is neither of us have a weekend off, because she'll have them Friday, I have Saturday, and then Sunday, I have Sunday morning and she has Sunday afternoon. So we just realized, well, this is kind of dumb. We never have a weekend off, and she can't meet the real man of her dreams. You know what I'm saying, Sienna?
Yeah, she doesn't have time to be out in the streets.
She can't be out in the streets if damn kids are there. You got to meet the man of your dreams, Amber. It wasn't me. So we're trying to figure out the schedule that works for you. What's your co-parenting schedule? There's 4. Jules, you got to jump on here because we're trying to find out whose dad was more in their lives, you or JD.
It's an unreal question.
JD, you said you were with your dad, your product of divorce, every other weekend.
Every other weekend, yeah.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Jules, how often do you see your dad?
Every other weekend. But every Wednesday he would pick me up from school and we would go do something and then he would drop me off at home.
He loved you more than JD's dad loved him. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it sounds
However,
like.
I did move 3,000 miles away from my dad when I was 13, so.
Not because of your dad.
Not because of my dad, no. So it turned into like twice a year after that.
Oh, twice a year. You're on that 2-363 schedule.
Yeah. But for like a while at a time.
But it feels like you're a daddy's girl. Every time you talk about your dad or you talk to your dad, it seems like you guys have a close relationship.
Yeah, I love my dad. We have a very special relationship. I think we just had to have like certain conversations because I left at such a weird age.
Right.
And I was just not going to see him for...
Now, when you moved over here, you moved with your mom. You just didn't move. Okay.
It was just my mom and I that moved from New Hampshire to Arizona.
Right.
So my dad still lives back east.
Uh-huh.
So my first summer going home, I think I went home for like 2 months and I stayed with my dad, which was the longest time I had ever spent at his house in one time.
But best memory?
In my whole life. Yeah, I think at some point I was like, okay, I'm ready to go home. I was 14. I was like, so I feel like I wish I could do that now.
Right.
But I don't know. But that was my whole life. My parents got divorced when I was 3 months old. So
3 months old.
Yeah, you remember that? 3 months old.
I do, because I remember having a temper tantrum every single time I had to leave either house.
Really?
It was a mess.
So something like you didn't get used to it, even though that was all you've known?
Oh, I did. At some point get used to it, but when I was like a toddler, it was a struggle every single time.
Oh, God. I can't wait for Cruz and Gia's therapy bills on that. Great. This is awesome. What schedule works for you? Help my kids get out of therapy. 833-730-6377. We got Anita and Scottsdale on the line. Anita, what schedule are you on? What works for you?
So we're on 5225, but the kids are getting older, so their schedules are getting busier. One kid goes one way, another kid goes another. So it's always best to kind of put what's best for the kids.
Right.
And
Now
what
explain what
works for them.
5225 is.
So it's basically 5 days on, 2 days off, 2 days on, and then 5 days off. So it's half of the week one parent and then half of the week the other, and then you just alternate weekends.
Kind of like that one. That
I've
way,
seen someone from my hometown do that.
5225?
Yeah.
That way each parent can have some weekends off in the month.
Because we were initially going to do 1 week on and 1 week off, and we decided that the kids were too young, and we didn't want to put them through like being separated from the parents for so long. So we decided to do 5225, and it's worked for all these years, ever since 2017.
So when you decide this, do you have to go through court, or can just the parents decide it? Like, say you wanted to change it. I know you say you're trying to adapt to your kids now. If you wanted to change that, do you have to go through the legal system, or do you just talk to your ex?
Well, it depends. If you are getting along, then you can submit a stipulation of agreement to the court, and then it's up to the judge to make the modification. Or if you're not getting along, then you have to put in your petition to modify visitation and parenting plan.
Right. Yeah. Very well stated. Yeah, we get along great.
But I would, if unfortunately for me, I have a really tough co-parenting conflict with my ex. So what I would do is just really try to work it out and come to an agreement with what works best for the kids. and ask them like what they want.
Oh,
That's what
that's the
I-
bow.
I wouldn't do that.
You wouldn't do that?
No.
Why wouldn't you do that?
Don't ask these little runts.
Yeah.
No.
Well, they might, at the end of the day, it's all about the kids. So it might be just too confusing for the kids of what's bouncing back and forth. So they might like the 1 week off, 1 week on.
It's a terrible idea, brother. They're going to choose favorites, man. You don't want that. I wouldn't put that in the kids' hands. If they were older, if they were in their teens, I maybe would suggest doing that, I guess. But when they're this young, I don't know. I don't like that idea. That makes me feel uncomfortable.
Well, when they're really young, you kind of like, there's always going to be like certain kids that are going to be attached to the mom, and then some kids are going to be more attached to the dad.
Oh, yeah. Gio would definitely come with daddy, and Cruz would be with mommy all the time.
Fine. Just do that.
Now
That
it's a
way
competition.
Everyone,
Yeah, there you
everyone
go.
knows
Yeah.
their gender roles. You can teach either or.
Self-awareness.
Yeah, definitely would be a competition. No, we can't do that. Maybe I
Gia
gotta think
learns
about
how
that.
to date a man. Cruz learns how to date a woman. Yeah.
Yeah, all of a sudden, Cruz knows how to apply makeup. Gia knows how to change a tire. What the hell? Guess who raised
Hey,
who?
that's good though. You should learn how to change a tire.
Oh, no, all my kids know how to do that. Please believe if whatever the boys are going to learn from daddy, my daughter knows as well. Okay. Well, Anita, thank you for the call. Appreciate it. 5225 is on the board.
You're
Thank you, love.
welcome. Bye.
Bye. All right, coming up next, and appreciate all the calls, 833-6377. Producer Jules says we have Drea going to be calling in from South Carolina. She used to live here, but she's listening to the show on the Odyssey app. What about the schedule for deadbeat baby daddies at that?
Wonder how that works.
She says her and her deadbeat daddy have a certain schedule that he goes on. So
Deadbeat daddy schedule? What job is this? Dude? It's so weird.
I like how you said,
Hey, JD.
and it's Sienna.
we're having so much fun with this co-parenting conflict, but I appreciate all the calls, people trying to give their advice on what co-parenting schedule works for you. Unfortunately, man, divorce rate and people breaking up, it's all-time high, y'all.
Yeah.
All time. Big shout out to Sienna's parents. Made it how many years so far?
30 plus. I don't know the exact number.
yes.
It's 30 to 32.
30 to
around there.
32. Wow.
Yeah, around there.
My parents, over 50 years together.
Nice.
Crazy. But
Nice.
nowadays, more people they just throw in the towel. They gave up. And guess who did that? Me and my ex-wife. We just gave up. So now we're co-parenting. The good thing about it is we do great co-parenting. We don't fight anything to do with the kids. Our schedule is not working well. We came up with a thing called fluid co-parenting, to where I have the kids 50% of the week, and if she needs my help or I need hers, we're there for each other. Team effort. But we realized we never have weekends off because she has them Friday, I have them Saturday, and we split Sundays, which is just not working. It's pretty dumb if you really think about it. None of us have an opportunity to have a weekend off or go away with friends or meet someone else in our life. So we asked you, and producer Joel says we have Drea. She's calling in from South Carolina. What about these baby daddies that are deadbeat baby daddies?
Gotta know. Gotta know.
What's that schedule look like, Drea?
So when I used to live in Arizona, I had every other weekend where the boys would have to go to their dads. And then I moved out of state, and now he sees them once a year.
Jeez.
Wow.
Does that benefit you or him?
Honestly, it benefits me. I hate the fact that I had to even share them. But the boys now are almost 17 and 15. So I feel like it's pretty clear to them now, like their dad just doesn't put the time and effort in. So
Okay, so
That doesn't lead to anything down the road.
yeah. So their father's on that 364 schedule.
Do that, Joey.
There is
here's
no.
the thing, though. I feel like he has the ability to, like, see them more often, but he just chooses not to.
Yeah, that's
So that's
horrible.
what I'm saying. Like, it's horrible for the kids for sure, don't get me wrong. But I think it just, for me, I'm like, you know what? You've painted that picture pretty clear for the boys, you know? So there's nothing I can do at that point.
Yeah, that is crazy. And they're young men, don't know their dad. Yeah. Fortunately for me, I'm sorry about your situation. We're great co-parents. We support one another, and we're just trying to make a schedule that works for each other. The 50-50 throughout the week, me getting them Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday and Sunday mornings. It's a little difficult for both of us. I never really get a whole weekend off. She wants certain days off, and it's hard to pick up the kids on certain days she has them. So we're trying to figure it out, and we're just taking all calls. But the 364 one, I don't think I would do that one. Yeah, that one's hard.
Yeah,
That one's tough to
absolutely
do.
don't recommend that because it's not good for the kids. And I feel like you overall are like a great parent, which I wish he was, but, you know, you can't make him do something he doesn't want to do. So
Right.
I hope you guys figure it out.
Yeah, no, we will. Let's play the game, y'all. All right, JD, you knock up a girl, which you probably have. And you can see your kids one time during the year. Which day are you picking?
Christmas.
Christmas. All right. December 25th. Sienna, you're a deadbeat mom, right? And you can only see your daughter once a year. Which day are you picking?
Their birthday.
Their birthday.
Crap.
Sienna's way better deadbeat than you are.
Must be nice
JD.
having parents together growing up, Sienna.
And she lived on a cul-de-sac, so there's
Oh,
that.
yeah.
man.
All right, love. What's that one day does your deadbeat baby daddy sees his boys?
He always wants him for Christmas. but
Christmas,
The
yeah.
boys rather stay here. So.
These deadbeat dads. Your man and JD, am I right? Trash.
Well, that is a good point given this context.
All right, my love. Thank you for sharing that story, and I hope you find that new love in your life.
Thank you so much.
All right,
Have
hon.
a great day, guys.
Don't tell us what to do. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Well, there's that. All right.
Good stuff.
Can't stand deadbeat
Seems
daddies.
fair.
Yeah. Yeah, seems fair. Let's get to the staycation setup, y'all. Who we tapping in with, Sienna?
So we're going to check in with Thomas now. He thinks his girl Everly is cheating after finding out she kissed another girl. So, cue Katy Perry, I kissed a girle.
Is that cheating?
Yes.
Well, I guess we have to hear him out, whatever the situation is.
I mean, you've kissed a girl while being married to Ivan, right, Sienna?
Not while